So welcome back to this series of retreats, and I'm personally really looking forward to this essence and expansion. And as always, it's nice to get the flavor of different thinkers on the subject. And I'd like to read a quote. This is American philosopher William James, who mentioned the essence of genius. May like to think, what's your answer? The essence of genius, he said, is to know what to overlook. I like this. Many things you have to overlook to understand the truth and the essence. The second one is actually US priest Theodore Heisenberg. He said the very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. You can't blow an uncertain trumpet. And we have 3 days to go into the essence and also into the expansion. So looking forward to this experience and to hear your thoughts and to share this space. So welcome, and over to Prashant. Good morning.
Thank you. And very welcome. It is nice meeting again. And obviously it is like a nice, powerful last 3 weeks for all of you. And these are opportunities just to gather the momentum and take it further. Let us start by another minute of silence. Since it is, we are dealing with the essence, let us come to the essence. There will be opportunity for expansion, in whether we like it or not. The expansion is there in this world. Baba uses the word dead silence, implying as if the world is dead for the person. So let us come to the experience of the supreme home of silence. And the invisible soul seeing himself as a presence in that expanse. Knows very clearly that he is immortal and his world is timeless, and he needs nothing from anywhere. He exists forever. He doesn't need to know anything. He exists and his world exists forever. Invisible presence in that expanse of light. Thank you. So it is like such an easy thing to come in the absolute essence. One line that came in the Murli of today, ultimately, at the final count, you are alone. The soul is alone, bodiless, and he experiences being alone. And the soul conscious soul is happy in that solitude. Ego is the one who all the time, he will feel lonely. In the midst of 100 also, he will feel lonely. But soul conscious soul is happy to be with the big family, billions. That is, he loves them. But also he enjoys his own company. Bottom line is that. And we need to come in that space where you enjoy that complete silence. And so easy to come in the essence. Then there is an extraordinary expansion. Just see this universe, and galaxies, and it is also unlimited. This expansion that exists, and in any situation, there's so much details, within the family, what each one does. There's so much details going on. Is it wrong? Is the expansion wrong? We don't say expansion is wrong. Expansion world is made like this. But what is wrong? You can answer. Is there anything wrong with the expansion? Most of us might say essence is right, that's good. But we take a position, expansion is also part of the nature. But is there anything that may go wrong in this dynamics, essence and expansion? You can type.
It's to forget the essence is wrong. And how it's a question how much value we give to the expansion. And only if complications are in the story. We think the expansion is real and get caught up in it, wasting energy. Both are required, but now it's time to be in the essence because time is short.
Very good. So expansion is part of the nature, but to get caught, to get trapped in the expansion, that is what we call body consciousness and bondage. And our aim is to understand the balance in essence and expansion. Do you know anyone who is caught in the expansion? Does it happen in your town? Anyone is caught in the expansion? You can type.
Yes, saying all of us.
Yes, that's good.
Politicians. I think. Is Maya is the one that's caught, is it?
Maya takes us into expansion.
Yes.
And just means ego within us is confused. Ego is a product of ignorance. And ego cannot see the whole picture, cannot see the expansion for what it is. It gets deceived by the expansion. And so loses the essence. And then once you have lost the essence, you have lost the purpose, you have lost everything. You don't even know yourselves. So that is the process of our whole degradation or losing our truth. The need of the present time is coming back into expand, coming back into the essence from expansion. So let us create a few minutes to come back to this. create this little opportunity. Some nice words Baba used recently. There is the truth, power of truth. And where there is truth, the soul dances. Truth can be rocked, doesn't sink. Boat of truth doesn't sink. Even if something tries to shake, it becomes a swing if where there is truth. When there is truth, you are connected to the essence. In falsehood, you are caught in the expansion. So if someone is just speaking truth, that is not power of truth. It is a great virtue, being honest and truthful. But to have power of truth, one needs to know truth. And one nice way to get this whole thing, we see the perspective of the invisible player. Invisible player is the invisible soul. He is conscious, he is awake. He is in truth. He is the one with the extremely subtle intellect. To be in the essence, you need to use the subtle intellect. Everyone has the extremely subtle intellect. But when you use it, it helps you to remain connected. With this, you can now see the entire physical world for what it is. It's a great performance. There's so much expansion in it. But it is a story. And it has beginning and end. Story, every episode has an end. He knows what it is for. In the story, there are dragons and villains. Story doesn't harm anyone. In the invisible players, he sees the whole story world. They can see this gathering right now, the online gathering. This is also part of the story. Prashant talking, that is happening in the story. And the invisible player understands it all, but he knows the world beyond the story. And beyond the story is his extremely subtle world. World of light, world of the true family. They all look like tiny points. Each one is aware of their presence. All are aware. of being present. They are aware of their immortality. Word of complete silence. Here is the family. The invisible player knows that his world is extraordinary. He himself doesn't need anything for his existence. And so also everyone else, they need nothing for their existence. And they all are beyond harm. If the story cannot harm them, there is nothing else that can ever harm them, even the slightest. He understands this too, just not needing anything and beyond harm. These are most empowering aspects. Never a beggar, never a victim. Many things can come in the story. There can be a black hole or a black fox. Nothing can harm him, even the slightest. One who is in the essence understands that essence is extremely beautiful. When one realizes that you are beyond harm, and the energy changes. He finds everything is fun. If the dragon on the screen cannot harm you, then it is entertainment. You are amused by the dragon. So the invisible player, their energy, constant energy, is for fun. They see everything is amusing. That's why what may appear like something to shake, they see it as the experience of swing. For one person, it might shake, but another person, it swings. One who is awake, one who is in the essence, he finds his world is eternally secure. And he also knows everyone else is like this. Everyone is immortal, beyond harm, and noble. They are all good. They got the best. And their natural state is of bliss and love. They all are lovely, loving, and lucky. And is aware of the big expansion story. There's so much going on every minute. There are so many plots, millions and millions of different characters. There is expansion and details. It all becomes fun, but the invisible players are free. As we continue on our journey, we remain aware of this beautiful truth, essence and expansion. Thank you. So, in a simple way, we have been seeing that that there is the essence, our big essence, and there is the expansion. You get an idea how much one is caught in the expansion by the pattern of our thoughts, how much our thoughts are in the expansion, and how much they are in the essence. We said we want a balance. We are not ignoring things, but we want a balance. But at the present time, to know the essence is a value. I like to use the image of a seed and a tree. This is a nice natural pattern of essence and expansion. Every tree, there is a seed there. And within the seed is every detail of the tree. All this program, DNA code is within the seed. Based on the seed, you can know what is to happen to this tree, what kind of leaf it will have and what kind of fruit it will have. It is every detail is there. It gradually unfolds as the tree expands. So we'll see some details about this seed and the expansion. But let me hear any thoughts from you or any comments so far.
So there's one question, it'd be a bit fuzzy here. How does the awakened soul feel and think about death and what's happening with the pandemic currently?
Sure. To start with, he's aware of the drama. Drama is drama. He's aware of his reality beyond the drama. He knows no one dies. And as was said, he knows all are noble, all are good, all are safe. They are lovely, loving, and lucky. This is very, very clear. He's seeing the source, the essence. And in the story, as was said, he knows beforehand, every episode has an end. So much variety within the episodes. Characters come, go. That is the law. That is going on all the time. Every second, 2 people die on this planet. Every second. So imagine in a week how many people die. That is without pandemic. So different things happen. And sometimes high drama, sometimes low drama, but that is. So he's not surprised or disturbed. He knows, as was said, when one knows he's beyond harm, he is only amused, literally like that. Some big thing happens, small drama is that no one dies, no one is harmed. When there is, like we were giving an example, a dragon comes on the screen. Children, some adults may be amused by this, but some children may start crying also. So what was the reason? The attitude was wrong. That's why what was meant for amusement becomes reason for sorrow. So also in this world, can be pandemic, can be death, can be destruction. It cannot harm anyone, but I can have a childish attitude. And then something that is meant as an entertainment, it becomes reason for sorrow. Otherwise, drama is drama. The producer, director of the drama does everything not to give sorrow. Any other thoughts?
Yes, thank you for this explanation. There's a question, if I've understood correctly, if we now are experiencing the home, Parandam, are we experiencing it in a way in its expansion? Because, do you have any comments on that?
Yes, very good. And that is the way it should happen. We should come in the essence and go into the details of the essence, experience it. And that has to become big for us. So at present, we have gone into the story, and that has become big, in our attitude. But we have to not only experience, but in our attitude also. Home is home, and essence doesn't mean I ignore it. I understand essence is important. So the importance has to be given to the home and the truth. That is what our yogi life is, creating that balance, understanding what is really important. Where is the true family? Where is the true self? And the true home, giving the importance that it deserves. And then you are quite happy to watch the television, what is happening. At present, as if we are living in the television screen and have lost the orientation with our own world.
Do you think if we were to have a scale between essence and expansion, it ought to tip more towards the essence than the expansion?
At present, everyone is into expansion. Present time is completely imbalanced. Large majority don't even know that there is anything other than the expansion. And even those who know, that they will find they are still slave to the expansion. Mind is still caught in different branches or twigs. And our success will be to create that balance where we have the right attitude towards the expansion. Expansion is nice to see, but it is not something I should get trapped in.
Just coming back to this aspect about, say, souls who are leaving the body because of the pandemic, and we would like to be close to them, but in this case, many of us are in other countries or far away. So how does that feel and look like from this awake soul who is in the essence? What would they think and feel at such a time?
Sure. I can be close to someone, and some comfort. But what about tomorrow? And what about day after tomorrow? There is a journey is long for everyone. And when we are in truth, we are able to understand what is genuinely useful for others, and to make them free also, to make them independent, to make them powerful. That is what will be useful to them tomorrow and the after. And for all this, we ourselves need to be out of confusion, now in truth. And as was said right at the beginning, one who is awake, he understands absolutely his greatness, and he enjoys his own company, and absolutely happy with solitude. And we want others to come in that. That is most important. And from that, having made them powerful, I give them company. Then it is right balance. To make them dependent and give them company, that is imbalance. So let us come to this analogy we used of the seed and the tree. We said seed as the formula of the whole tree. And as time progresses, the different things unfold, different branches come, and different fruit comes, leaf comes. All these details are in the seed. And they just are expressed at different time in the tree. What spiritual knowledge says, this physical world is in the image of the tree. What is happening here is gradual unfolding of this secret. There was, so true history is this. At different times, different expansion happens of this tree. Different branches come out, different leaves come out, fruit comes out. In a different civilization, different characters, different talents. It is all expansion happening in the tree. And at some point, the tree expands so much that there is, it cannot be managed anymore. Some branches break, some branches dry up, and sometimes the trunk itself dries up, disintegrates. So that is the destiny of any tree. It all starts from the seed. Seed has the formula. Now, if we see in the world of science, what is science doing? In this tree, human tree, what is science doing? Science completely ignores the seed. Seed in this case is the invisible, the essence. That is the seed. Not just a God, but the whole reality. The soul world is like all the secret, all the expansion is already there. The destiny of the souls, different branches to happen, different religions, all the code is there in the seed, in this seed. Supreme home, that dimension, if we call it the essence. And then the expansion happens, different, the golden age comes, silver age comes, different religions come. This expansion is happening, but it is all already there at the level of the seed. Science, as was said, they ignore the seed side of it. Their focus is on the fruit and how to get more fruit. And they may invent some special kind of spray that helps the fruit to protect the fruit. But if you are ignoring the seed, how long will you get the fruit? Sooner or later, you will run out of fruit. You can pluck fruits. We were emphasizing right at the beginning, extremely subtle intellect. We all have it, but we have to use it. Science ignores it. That's why power of science has limited success. It is long-term failure. Where there is power of silence, you are understanding the importance of the seed. And at least you know that there is a seed. And every time you are giving attention to the seed, it nourishes the whole tree. If you water the seed, if you give nourishment to the seed, whole tree becomes healthy. Expansion is helped. So in this case, our attention itself is like giving water to the seed. Whilst science but also the large majority of the world ignores the essence completely. Some might say, okay, that exists, but they are now busy. So there is they themselves helplessly are slaves, caught in the expansion. They're trapped. But in such a world, if you make yourself free and you create time at the level of the seed, then you are helping the whole tree. At the subtle level, this whole tree is at the moment dry. Spiritually very weak, the whole tree, all the souls of the world. Internally, they're empty. That's why they have to get things from outside, whether it is in the form of they want to indulge more, or they want to beggar and the victim and the orphan. These mentalities are on the increase. Ego is on the increase. Why? Because the weakness of the souls body consciousness on the increase. And how to address this? Just telling someone or writing books, that is not enough. There has to be attention given to the seed. Someone has to give attention. And so every minute you are creating time just to acknowledge that all our souls and all are immortal. And they are not victims and they are not beggars, but they are noble, they are immortal. They are lovely and loving and lucky. We are seeing that side of everyone. That attention is like the light. And at this level, the light has value. In the spiritual writing, one message, you are externally, you might not be running around. You are not in the president's, position, but in an incognito, in a silent way, if you are paying attention to the seed, it has a huge benefit. It will create huge benefit. Every minute you are creating time there, it is benefiting the tree because it is like nourishment. It is an intelligent intervention. One can run around, but in an unintelligent way, it doesn't bring the big benefit. But intelligent intervention. And what is this? Let us create some time for this. So all we are doing, we are understanding this seed reality, the supreme truth, the essence of this tree, human tree. There's lots going on. This world is so many countries and so many religions and so many human beings. So much going on. But we are understanding behind this is this is a drama. What we are seeing here is a drama. But behind is the home of all the invisible actors. And there are actors. Behind this, there are actors. And they all look like tiny points. And we are happy to understand that this exists. There is a world behind that exists. And on the stage, they have to use masks and hats and banners. That is all for the pantomime. Behind, they look like tiny points, but they are immortal. As we are seeing, they are noble. They need nothing for their existence. As if they got everything. They are beings of bliss and love. Each and every one. Just we are seeing this, that is like light. We are acknowledging this existence. They are immortal without needing anything, and nothing can ever harm them. They are so safe. They can afford to be fearless they can afford to be innocent. We are reminding them, we are just seeing their original truth. They are childlike and godlike beings. And they are like that forever. It is not that one time they were this and now they have changed. This is timeless truth. We want those who have forgotten, we want them to wake up, connect to this truth. Come in the smriti. Those who are into vismriti, they have to come into smriti. Those who are as if unconscious, they become conscious at a subtle level. So in a silent way, we are paying attention to this essence. It is nice, theory is nice, and there is an essence and there is an expansion, but we have option to shine light on this essence. As was said, essence, which is also the main thing. We want to give it importance that it deserves. Of the whole world. This applies to all souls. The whole family of souls. They all are noble, they all are lovely, all are childlike and godlike, all are immortal. At this level, no one can ever be bad or enemy. That all happens when the expansion happens and we get deceived, then those complicated feelings come. Here, the essence is immensely beautiful. Inside out, everyone is clean. That's why it is. We need that subtle intellect and also clean intellect to grasp this. The divine character to grasp it, you also need that clean intellect. We have it, but we have to use it. More we are giving attention to this, it is so positive. It helps, it grows within us, it helps others in a silent way, incognito. You are shining light on what is positive, but also what is true. You are shining light on the seed, on the essence. Then you can be very assured it is a contribution to the tree. Guaranteed, it will benefit the tree. More the nourishment, more the help. Thank you. You want to add anything? Say anything?
Thank you. When you said it is not enough to write books and talk about it, it really makes it clear that the help is in experiencing it, seeing it in that incognito experience and effort. One question here, science is dedicated, but is only in the realm of what we can experience through the senses and through our apparatus, in the perceptual reality. Can science ever be applied to the subtle world, or is it only effective within its present field of investigation?
An individual scientist can apply themselves to the subtle, but the science as an institution in the present form, it cannot. This whole game is at a very individual level. And even here, we need to use that extremely subtle intellect. And so 10 people might hear of it, but some might say, where is that intellect? But some more we use it, it will become stronger. But science at present is working at a gross level as an institution.
Yes, thank you. We understand it, we get lost and have got lost in the expansion, and drama is also an expansion, we get lost. Is it possible to go the other way and actually be too much into the essence?
No. At present time, definitely we need to get in the essence. And as was said, that is the main thing. It is a bit like you got your home and you got a television screen. You may watch, for 5 minutes, Mickey Mouse on the screen. You may see it for 2 hours. And you are not committing a big sin by seeing it just for 5 minutes. You are seeing, but you are connected with the essence. That is most important. You might see for whole day, but if by the end of seeing the Mickey Mouse for whole day, you get lost in it, even a little bit, that is abnormal. You start creating attachment to Mickey Mouse, then that is abnormal on the slightest. So at present, we are lost in a big way in this story world. So much so that we don't even know that we have our home and parents. So to come back to the essence is important. We don't ignore the expansion. That is not a point. We accept expansion exists. We don't say expansion should be removed, no. But have in the right positioning towards the expansion.
Okay, that's nice. Yes, and I think this is the answer to this next query. Earning money and success. Could we say that this is being caught in the expansion, or is it possible to enjoy a balance while enjoying the material world? I think
word is balance, yeah. But as long as we understand the balance the right way, first we need to come in the essence properly. Then only that can be right balance. There are many who might say we got a balance, we are, but they are not really connected to the essence.
So here, to clarify, are we saying that drama itself is an expansion?
Yes, whole thing, including this gathering and Prashant talking, this is all part of the expansion.
question here. Do we have two essence? One is the soul and its part, and the other of the drama or tree. I don't know if I understand the question, but
Okay, yes. There is one level in a soul is the essence, his part is the expansion. But here we are seeing the bigger position where the whole tree is the expansion. So the big drama, parts of everyone, that is like a tree made with all the souls, billions of them. And these souls have their reality behind, and that is collectively, there is the essence. And that is a nice way to see it.
do you feel that this is the key? Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, just one nice word for soul word in Hindi, Mulvatan. And it is nice, somehow it sort of resonates. It is original region, a bit like saying seed region, that soul word. Yeah, please.
It feels like this may be helpful to define, and then in theory, it should be easier to hold the essence in the expansion. Is that right? Because this is what we want to understand more clearly. I think that we are here, but it's the clarity of this awake consciousness that is seeing this world from the essence.
Yeah, that's excellent.
The question that follows, in order to do that, we need to be able to go into the details of the essence and that awake experience and make it alive and vivid. Any thoughts about making that engaging and natural, the going into the essence of the soul?
Yes. It is just like, say, if you are in a family and there is we give the example of screen and there is Mickey Mouse. There's lots going on the screen, Mickey Mouse. Whereas in your family, they may be silent. Your parents and family, they are not jumping around like Mickey Mouse. In our superficial, intellect, we tend to get engaged with activity where there is too much chaos that attracts us more. And silent is interpreted as lifeless in our superficial intellect. Like children, they will gravitate towards a toy that is jumping rather than a toy that is silent. And same thing happens with us. We tend to project life on this jumping toys and ignore the dimension that is silent. When we use the subtle intellect, this superficial activity doesn't deceive us. Just because something is moving and jumping, that is where our family is. We are not deceived. And the reality behind is silent. The family of souls and the Father, it is silent. But that is where the true family is, and that is where true life is. That is where true love is. Sat Chit Anand. Sat is truth and consciousness. That is, and bliss. That is at that level, at the essence level. In our superficial, gross intellect, we have projected it on a gross world just because there is too much activity going on there.
Very interesting. Question from a little earlier. Could analogy be like a microchip? Is this also an illustration of the essence?
Yeah, sure.
Everything is held, and then when you see the expansion, you get the emerged image. When we are giving attention to the seed, it's the seed of the new sapling, is the understanding, rather than the old tree. Is this correct?
Yeah, sure. But seed is the seed, and seed reality. So once we give attention, it then creates a new tree. That's true.
The Sat, Chit, and Anand you mentioned, does it correspond to a stage of bliss?
Anand is bliss.
And question, the soul in the home, the silent, invisible vibrations of the soul conscious soul. Actually, I'm not understanding this question. Yeah, maybe that needs clarifying. One more here. When we give attention to the seed, does it mean we are strengthening the roots?
Yeah, that is nice way to see it. Just like in others, a tree, you give water to the seed and the roots, then the whole tree gets nourishment. The same happens here. You are coming to that the reality, and it is natural. You are not seeing it as some meditation. You are just seeing the obvious. There is the true family here, and they are all good. And how absurd that they are not seeing the obvious. They are just seeing what is natural and normal. That they all are immortal. In what way? This is the biggest paradox. They all are immortal, but whole life they are worrying about death, and they may create attachments, and they may commit sin on top of sin because they may die sometimes. That's right. They are out of greed and all these vices come. But they are immortal. So it is nice to shine light in this area in a natural way, in starting with ourselves.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe the leaf can become aware of the branch that supports it and miss the trunk, and the other branch is to appreciate the tree. How close to the true essence can we really get?
We understood the essence, our essence of the subtle. More we use our subtle intellect, then it is very, very straightforward and natural. I was going to read a short passage from the Murli, if it is okay now.
Yes.
And after that, we can have rooms if that is the plan. This was in 1972, June 72. And that is the Baba's words. Just as science is becoming refined, in the same way is your power of silence and your stage. being automatically refined? What is the speciality of something that is refined? Anything that is refined may be less in quantity, but the quality will be powerful. What is not refined will be more in quantity, but lacks in quality. So here also, whatever tasks you carry out in less time, using less energy, will be 100-fold powerful. And there will also be the experience of lightness. Sign of lightness is that it will not come down, even against its conscious wish. It will stabilize itself up above. This is the qualification of something being refined. So do you experience this? Quality, not quantity, and lightness. Because of being heavy, you have to make more effort. When you are light, effort is reduced. And so natural transformation takes place in this way. So constantly pay attention to both these things. Whilst keeping these in front of you, you can check how refined you have become. Anything that is refined picks up speed very quickly. It will not be able to move. What is not refined, it will have obstacles. So on one hand, you are becoming refined. On the other hand, the fine for trivial matters, for making mistakes, you become free. If something is not refined, then consider it to be a fine. Fine means penalty. Both scenes are visible at the same time. That is going towards the extreme, and this is also visible in its extreme form. That which is incognito is becoming more visible. Both aspects are clearly visible, and whilst seeing both, you have to remain cheerful and remain a witness. A game which has extremes within it is liked a great deal. Such a scene has a great attraction. So, just a little reference. Whatever that is subtle, refined, it has power. It does achieves more results. There is a quality there's lightness. And Baba is playing with the words. It also frees you from the fine. The more we cross the line, imbalance, all of that brings pain. Just like any body, if it is sort of imbalanced, then it creates more problems, brings pain. So fine comes when there is an option to come in the subtle, remain refined. We use the word extremely subtle intellect to understand that that is normal for us. By saying that, it will become easy for us to use, because we ourselves are extremely subtle. Our essence, but that is our world, that is extremely subtle. Our true family, true father, true treasures. So why not, make it, own it, and make it important. That option we have. And then what is mentioned, quantity will follow once the quality is paid attention. Excellent. So any final thoughts? Maybe Sarah want to add anything?
Just the date of this, Merle, 72, was it June?
Yes, 12th June 72.
What you just said, it's like it's already there, but to claim it, to own it, it's a bit like some crops which are already there, and anyone could reap those crops, but unless you actually make the effort to go there and reap them, you don't have the richness of it. So we need to spend time there. That's all. So it's clear. So we're going to go to rooms, and I'd just like to ask Prashant if you would just like to give a question for discussion.
To a general discussion about how we can come to the essence that is most important. The balance here is balance is achieved by coming in the essence. So the question is how to come in the essence, how to stabilize in the essence.
Okay, thank you very much. So when we go into rooms, I think most of you are familiar, but it's a chance to share, and so feel free to come into sound and camera if you can, and giving a chance to everyone to share if possible. And if you're in the wrong room for your language, there's a help button. So I hope that works out, and see you in around 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. So nice to get this flavor of discussion, but also meeting each other. It's amazing. So we're going to take just a minute to come back to the essence, of course, and maybe the one thing you would like to go into the depth of the experience of, and we'll meet back in a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Possibly more questions have come. I see some of there. It's a very good opportunity to explore. And to do this, I'd also like to invite Belinda, who's connecting from South Africa. So for her, it's a good afternoon. I hope this connection works. So welcome to Belinda.
Thank you, Om Shanti. Such a powerful topic. And the discussion was, as always, so helpful. There was an agreement in the group that really the essence of the essence is the whole question of identity. That when the identity of the soul is clear, then its reality can be clear as well. And to keep coming back to this practice of the true identity, but then in a sense the expansion of the essence, which is the home of the soul, the family of the soul, the father of the soul. And even when one gets lost into the expansion, there was a nice example given that there's a thread that pulls you into the expansion, but that same thread can also bring you back to the essence. So another thought that came is that there are penalties experienced in the expansion, and those penalties come generally in the form of pain, discomfort, sorrow, and the solutions to those penalties is generally sought in the expansion. That if the drama would change in some way, if things would be different, if there could be more control. And of course, there are no solutions to pain and suffering within the expansion, because it is being lost in the expansion that brings the penalties. And so those penalties can also work in our favor, because they signal that that line has been crossed and the expansion has become the reality. If that wasn't the case, then there wouldn't be the penalties. So they signal to us that that line has been crossed and to come back to the essence. So we heard in the quotation of the Murli that when there is that refinement, we are saved from the fine, which is also the penalty. And lastly, this exploration of immortality and what it feels like, and the whole experience of being completely free from harm, completely safe, eternally, irrespective of high drama or low drama. It has nothing to do with the security of the eternal being, the eternal Prince. And that feeling that comes when we are in the essence of immortality and how free the soul is in that reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. And it's good to be sensitive to these signals, so we learn and we spend time refining rather than, as Baba plays with words, getting the fine. And if we think we've found the solution in the expansion, it's just a confusion. So we get more into trying to find and fix the drama. So very helpful, and to come back to this Murli and also this immortality and safety. There were the two things, weren't they? The safety of the soul and yes, not being beyond harm and being lucky. So I'm just acknowledging some of the questions and going to pass back to Prashant and see if we have time to review them, if you want to come back to the practice and the essence.
Thank you. Yes, let us come to the essence. And it is a game of a second. And the easiest way, something we can aim over the next 2-3 days. And as was emphasized, we don't say expansion is wrong. It is the imbalance that is what we are questioning, and have the right attitude towards the expansion, not to be deceived by the expansion. That is what our aim is. And this is achieved beautifully by the invisible player. So we are not using the language I, we are saying the invisible player. So invisible soul, we are calling him invisible player. And he sees this physical world, the expansion that exists. For him, it is a PlayStation, a massive PlayStation, and many things happening within that. But he also knows his world, silent world beyond, and is very fond of his silent world. At that level is his true family and true father. Most important, this is, we are talking about truth. Truth is at this level. True self, true father, true treasures. And they are all timeless and eternal, extremely subtle. But for him, that is normal. It is very gross PlayStation, but the real world is extremely subtle. Invisible player, for him it is normal. He has self-respect. He knows he is worthy of being loved by God, and worthy to belong to this family. It's a new start. Invisible player is the invisible prince. He belongs to the King of Kings. This reality, the essence, is not extension of expansion. That's why it's the clean start. Independent story and the drama, there's so much going on there. but the essence is forever clean. We are shining light on this self and everyone else. It is fun to experience something so big. It is fun, but we see that it has benefit. It has power to uplift. At the present time, it is the essence, the seed as value. Creating light at this level is the need of the hour. Thank you. So we can come into some details and some questions.
Enjoyable combinations, and I think we like the questions, and then we enjoy the essence as a complement each other. So this, on the similar vein, something that came up in the group discussion: what is the balance we are talking about here? It's clearly not like a 50-50 as we would generally understand as balance. What would you say to this?
Yeah, agreed. It is not 50-50. The balance, the word, because you are seeing it in proportion. You know, if you prefer that other word, proportion, that may be appropriate. In a balanced person, he is not doing everything 50-50, but he knows at the right time to speak the right words, in a right way. Then he's balanced. Internal balance. He knows how to approach it. So if something is a story, it is a story. So proportionate, that may be the better word for this.
Thank you. I hope that helps. You mentioned earlier, this image of the TV screen. So if we see this physical world as significant as that in a way, or as insignificant, the home and the world of the soul. This question, which got clarified, which was, what is, in other words, the world of the soul? Are we talking about the parandam, or is there another way of understanding the world of the soul?
Yeah, parandam, the supreme home.
It's like the fish belongs in the ocean, the soul belongs in the home of silence, like this.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say?
One is the home, but we also want to see that whole dimension. It is a bit like there is a Mickey Mouse cartoon going on, but there is a whole world beyond Mickey Mouse cartoon. Within that, there is a home also, there is people, there is a park, there are many things. And there is a Mickey Mouse cartoon. It is not just the home and the cartoon, but there is a whole reality beyond the cartoon. Just to understand it, when we use the subtle intellect, we are seeing this dimension which normally is missed completely. There is a blackout. So the audience may be visiting the theater. You don't even see the audience just because they are invisible. They are not in the home, they are in the theater. Still you completely ignore them. When we are using the intellect and the sight, we are seeing this whole reality that here right now, there are the invisible souls, the same souls, invisible players, who are trying to make sense of these ideas. Here, these invisible, they look like tiny stars. They are the ones who are trying to wake up and discover their truth and discover their wonder and discover their essence. So this, they may not be necessarily in the home. Home is part of this whole dimension.
Is this a sign of ignorance? Obviously it is, we can't see it. But it requires a subtle intellect, doesn't it? Because the question here is, the seed is underground, a normal, ordinary seed. We don't see it. And here we're talking about the soul, and God is, they're like the seed, or God is the seed of the tree. We don't see it. Is that to do with our ignorance, or is that like more the nature of the seed itself?
Yeah, what was said earlier, extremely subtle intellect. You all have it. We still need to use it. And more we use it, it will become stronger. At present, we have created a society that uses gross intellect, and that prevents us from seeing the obvious. For one person, what is obvious? For the one, if we use gross intellect, we are stuck in the Mickey Mouse cartoon day in and day out and miss out on everything else. It is a bit like that.
So there was a question you just answered really, but just to check, in other words, you're saying that the intellect will become more subtle and perceive this invisible reality more as there is less ego and more purity. Is this correct?
Yeah.
There's a question, the thread that was mentioned earlier on, maybe from the reading, I'm not sure. Can we attach, can you elaborate a bit on what we are connecting our thread to?
Is it a question to Belinda?
Maybe. Yeah, that's right. Maybe Belinda. What do I think we want to know what to detach from and what to attach to? Are we attaching to Baba? And maybe that's for Belinda. Yeah, hope it's clear, Belinda.
Thank you. Actually, it was an example given in the rooms that it feels like there's some kind of thread that pulls you into the drama. But what was shared was that it's that same thread that can also bring you back. And I think the emphasis here was to remember that the option is always there, no matter if one is pulled. And so what would pull the soul back to the essence would be just using that subtle intellect that's been referred to. Just take that option and use that thread to come back in the right direction. I hope that's clear.
Yeah, thank you. The fact that we have choice, and it's very nice. So, yeah, I don't know if Bishop wants to add anything final. There was a question from earlier, which I think has probably been covered, but if you want to add anything, can you define a yogi life? That's a nice essential question. Is it only about the recognition of the drama being drama? because that's emphasized quite a lot. Or is it more than that?
Sure. That in the Murli of today, there were two words used, bhogi, and opposed to that is yogi. Bhogi is indulgent, and Ravan is bhogi. All 10 heads of Ravan are bhogi. So he comes in this drama, but he comes with the attitude, what can he get here? What can he indulge in? So whether it is position, whether it is praise, whether it is place, he uses everything for indulgence in some form. Some Ravan's head is, some ego somewhere. He's saying, yes, 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 me, look at my head, look at my position, look at my people. Or sometimes outright some sense object. This is the bhogi life. Yogi, it will be zero indulgence. Then we can call it a yogi life. Just like if you understand some story, in the story there is someone is acting as a king. To indulge, I look at this, I'm a king. When you are playing a part just for 5 minutes, that's an outright deception. But Ravan is product of deception, product of ignorance. And he gets deceived at every level, he gets trapped into that expansion. Yogi knows beforehand the drama for what it is. He doesn't indulge like Ravan in anything. He is very much involved, but he doesn't indulge. He enjoys in a different way, in an unlimited way. He enjoys the beginning of the drama, he enjoys the actions, he enjoys the dragon, and he enjoys the king. He enjoys the glitter, but he knows the whole thing is not worth a penny. He's prepared for the end. He knows of his world beyond. Internally, he knows he's full. That's why when he comes in this drama world, he doesn't come with a begging bowl, trying to get something from somewhere. He is coming with that inner fullness. Very much involved. Both are involved. Yogi and bhogi, both are involved in this world. But yogi is not, at the end of the day, he is not trapped any further. He doesn't feed Ravan. Bhogi feeds Ravan. And as a result, what was mentioned in the Murli, there are penalties. More you are getting trapped in this, there are penalties. Pain removes the person out of this penalty. And so the one who is a bhogi becomes a rogi. That was what was mentioned. Illness, cause of illness is to be bhogi. So we have the option to be sensible and be a yogi beforehand, not waiting for pain. And it is a bit of an expansion, looks like, in this question.
It's enjoyable and acknowledged. And one message, any feeling of need is a penalty in itself. It's like the mind with a drop of desire. So it's a nice image. Soul doesn't not come with a begging bowl. It's that vibration of being full and complete is such a freedom. Yeah, it's so nice. So yoga is with the essence of this. So we've come to time, and maybe we create a couple of minutes for a drill. But if you would like to share any final point that you want to highlight, or a suggestion that we might enjoy practicing before we meet again.
What was mentioned, for these 2-3 days, let us use those 3 days as a bhakti, where we make it a natural nature. And very, very simple. Let us catch hold of that invisible player. He's a yogi. It is not Prashant, is part of the drama. It will be the invisible player who is naturally, he remains the embodiment of truth. And let us catch hold of that perspective. Try and make it natural, for the 2-3 days. And now we will listen to the transmission, hear from Baba some thoughts. And Drishti.
Thank you very much. Yes. So connect for a few minutes and enjoy. Thank you.
देवता बन जाना।